Hello my dear friends, how are you all doing today? I know this is something I often say, but I just want to thank you all for being here and being part of this amazing community. When I receive comments like this one, it just puts a huge smile on my face and really inspires me to want to create videos that you want to see. And I hope I can continue being a source of positivity, light, and entertainment in this fandom. And may I just ask you before we get started, if you've not done so, please join the Megalorian ranks, hit the big subscribe button down below. We would be honoured if you would join us. But no more jibber jabber, let's dive straight in. So we have a couple of topics concerning Ahsoka's second season. You know, Lucasfilm usually reveals quite a lot, even in subtle ways, in their reference books. And the brand new Star Wars Bestiary Volume No. 1, Creatures of the Galaxy by S.T. Bende, confirms that by the time of the sequel trilogy, the galaxy knew of Peridea, and to be more specific, Howlers, the creature that Sabine bonded with, that Ahsoka, Sabine, Baylan and Shin rode. My goodness, does Dave Filoni love his wolves. So you might be wondering, well, why is this so important? Because if the galaxy knows about them by the time of episode 9, it means that what went down on Peridea has become famous. Some are saying it's confirmation that Ahsoka and Sabine both made it home. I wouldn't go that far, because remember guys, Ezra is the one who made it back in season 1. He witnessed and rode Howlers. It's very likely Ahsoka and Sabine are gonna make it back in season 2, but at the moment what we can say is that if the galaxy post episode 9 knows about the extragalactic world of Peridea and its creatures, Ezra is the one who probably passed down those stories. The book is written from a scientist named Ardis Santeca, and yes, she is a member of the Santeca clan, and she notes, Howlers are one of the few confirmed species to be extragalactic, which means they don't exist in the known galaxy. The fact she mentions it's not a legend but scientific means at some point there was confirmation that they do exist. Like I say, maybe through Ezra, but then again, his story is just an account. If it's scientific evidence, maybe Sabine and Ahsoka bring one back. Or maybe when they do eventually make it home, whether they're rescued or come back some other way, they map out a path from the known galaxy to Peridea, and that way Star Wars researchers in-universe can study them. The implications of very small details like this are pretty significant. It seems as if the Ahsoka series and its extragalactic world are only the first steps in a much larger endeavour to push the envelope on the Star Wars galaxy. There are only so many wide-scale galactic conflicts that can occur as stories go on, and this is why the upcoming fight between the New Republic and the Remnant is so important, because there is a shred of extragalactic influence, the Great Mothers, not to mention whatever link there is to Mortis through what Baylan is looking for, and so introducing more aspects of the Second Galaxy could be pretty fascinating. If it's well established by time of episode 9, then it could have implications in the Rey movie, The New Jedi Order. The fact Dave Filoni created a whole other galaxy cannot be ignored, especially if galactic scientists know about it. There will no doubt be efforts, after Ahsoka and Sabine are back, to travel intergalactically. They really push the envelope. But that's not the only thing we need to talk about, my dear friends. There is a new reveal in a brand new Star Wars comic, The Battle of Jakku. This takes place between the events of Return of the Jedi and The Mandalorian in 5 ABY. But, as you've probably seen from the title, its implications do feed over into the time period that both Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni continue to explore, especially in the upcoming Ahsoka Season 2. So, issue number 3 of Insurgency Rising has just blown my mind, because it's just been confirmed there are more Inquisitors than we thought being used by the Imperial Remnant. This means there is more than just the now deceased Marok, who was revived originally by Morgan Elsbeth, before Ahsoka turned him into smoke. But not just this. One issue later, in issue number 4, which just released a couple of days ago, they confirmed this is not an Inquisitor in the traditional sense. She has an Inquisitor red lightsaber, but this is an acolyte of the Beyond, Reyna Oscure. They were a cult of dark side fanatics who came to prominence in the last year of the Galactic Civil War. They were obsessed with the Sith religion and the legacy of Darth Vader. They disappeared before the sequel trilogy, but they were working with the Remnant, so they're not traditional Inquisitors. The reason this is so important is because it gives us a hint at the kind of secret forces the various Remnants might be using after the Battle of Jakku, years down the line in The Mandalorian and the Ahsoka show, especially now that Thrawn is back. We know he's creating some kind of Night Sister army on Dathomir, and that other members of the Shadow Council have their own tricks, like Praetorian Guards, Stormtrooper units, maybe Proto-Snokes, Darkside cultists, Acolytes of the Beyond. But what if there are others out there? What if there are other Inquisitors like Marok? I'm very interested to see what Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have cooked up for the Mandoverse's future, for the movie side, and Ahsoka Season 2, beyond the ones we know. And one question I'm particularly fond of, are they clones of known Force users? During the airing of Ahsoka Season 1, I wasn't the only person to propose this crazy theory. What if, to taunt Ahsoka, or should I say now the New Republic because Ahsoka and Sabine have been left behind, Thrawn cloned an enemy of hers, an old deceased enemy using the Great Mothers, maybe a Sarge Ventress or Maul as an assassin. This could absolutely be possible considering the mysterious powers of the Great Mothers and the unknown extent of their abilities. Throwing in more Force users into the mix has suddenly made the prospects of Ahsoka's second season that much more interesting, because Ahsoka, Sabine, Baylan and Shin, the main Force users from the show, are stuck in the second galaxy. So whatever forces the Grand Admiral has up his sleeves will have to be confronted by Ezra, possibly Grogu, and Luke. If of course they want to give us another Mandalorian Season 2 or Book of Boba Fett moment. But this revelation is enormous. Now that Star Wars canon is expanding beyond Episode 6, it's fascinating that they're giving us brand new types of Force users, Dark Jedi such as Baylan and Shin, revived Inquisitors like Marok, and who knows what other types of Force users as enemies. If one remnant is using these kind of tactics and hiring assassins, and we saw something similar with mercenaries in Ahsoka, why can't there be others that our heroes have to confront? We've spoken about possibilities of canonization of a figure like Sabayoth, the introduction of Salamiri into live action, which was teased in Rebels, but what about the ramifications of Baylan? If the rumours are true that he's being called to by Abeloth, the dangerous mother of Mortis, will that create a ripple effect in the Force? Even though that's in Peridia, will there be effects felt in the known galaxy through Luke, through Leia, through Ezra? Just an interesting thought. I really can't wait to see what Dave Filoni does with Thrawn's plan. Who is in those catacombs? And what is his plan of attack? But with that said, my dear friends, share your thoughts on everything we spoke about in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, check me out on socials, at StarWarsMeg1 on Twitter, and the link to my Patreon is down below. But until the next one, my dear friends, may the Force be with you, always.